Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Season 2 premiere of Veston's Review Show, where I review just about anything. I'm your host, Professor Bruno. Today, we're going to take a look at one of the most popular Sesame Street characters ever. Yep, Bert and Ernie. The best of Ernie and Bert. It also features Big Bird and Gina, and Ernie's little cousin Ernestine. Yeah, but we're probably not familiar with her that much. Hey, Mooshu, come here.
What?
What do you think of this?
I don't know.
You remember Ernie, don't you?
Obviously, since we had the Sing Yourself Silly video.
Yep, and that's where Big Bird was in too, right? Yep. But some of you may not be familiar with Ernestine, though. Yep. So today's theme is Comedy Duo. Yeah. This 1988 video was written and directed by John Stone, who during those days was the go-to director for several of these videos. This video was the first in a series of volumes that Sesame Street did, for the best of which feature specific characters. So, let's see if this video is worth reviewing, or let's just say I'm just back in low business. Let's jump right into the best of Ernie and Bert. Not much to talk about the frame material this time around. It's mostly just Big Bird, Gina, and little Ernestine looking for pictures of Ernie and Bert. According to Big Bird, these pictures were taken by Olivia, Gordon's sister. So you may remember Olivia, don't you? Well, that's a topic for another time. Anyways, they show off these pictures which segue to each segment. And the first segment we see is the one where Ernie and Bert go to the movies. For this one, there was that lady with a tall hat who was performed by Jerry Nelson, who gets in the way of Ernie's point of view. And Ernie tries his best to think about what can he do to get her out of the way, because hey, Bert refuses to help and he just wants him to figure this out on his own. He tried switching seats and even tried to go on Bert's lap. Eventually it does get resolved when he asks the young lady to take the hat off so he can see, which is karma for Bert because he obviously refused to help because he's too focused on the film. That's karma. Also, no Grover in the background. He's right there on the right. He's watching the film. And what were they even watching anyway?
Stop! Good movie, isn't it, Bert?
Oh my goodness. Huh? Look how big it is.
Huh? Good movie. Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, please. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Oh, look at it going.
The next sketch features a season 14 segment where we see Ernie and Bert camping outdoors. And during the night, Ernie hears some sounds of the night, like frogs and owls and crickets and stuff like that. He even mentions Kermit at one point.
There's something else. Bert, does that remind you of anybody we know?
Now, like most nighttime Ernie and Bert segments, it usually ends with Ernie falling asleep and Bert up wide awake, annoyed. That's how it works. And in the next segment, we see Ernie get visited by a doctor who I think is Mr. Johnson before he became a customer at Grover's Restaurant Charlie's. He examines Ernie, but he is the wrong patient. And here's the reason why he called him.
I called you because my friend Bert has a tummy ache. It's right this way.
Okay, Bert. Open your mouth.
You see, this is why doctors don't make house calls anymore.
Veston, so far we've only talked about sketches. What about songs?
I was gonna get to that, okay? Patience.
Okay.
For our first song, it's the ever-popular nighttime song, I Don't Want to Live on the Moon, as Ernie sings about this very smart lesson here. The lesson of this song is that there's no place like home. And even though we like to visit these places like the moon and the sea, we don't think we'd like to live there.
Look at that moon. Isn't that pretty? Did you ever think you might like to visit the moon? Well, I did.
This song was written by Jeff Moss. He wrote a lot of poignant songs for the show. He also wrote Saying Goodbye from The Muppets Take Manhattan and We Are All Earthlings. Sometimes he writes some of the most heart-wrenching music. Now, as Big Bird and Ernestine fell asleep, Gina decides to show us her favorite moment of Ernie and Bert, where Ernie and Bert went to an Egyptian pyramid back in 1981. Now for that one, they see some statues that look like them. And of course Ernie likes his statue, but Bert prefers his. Now as you could probably guess, Ernie was pretty scared by this point, because of the lighting and the scary writing. That's how it is. But then, the statue of Ernie decides to tap on him and talk to him. Which Ernie tries to get Bert to see it, but he just keeps standing still, the statue that is. If it does eventually get resolved when they scat to the Rubber Ducky song.
You didn't tap me, did you, statue?
Sure I did.
Bert! Oh, Bert!
What is it?
And did I mention that the statue was performed by Jerry Nelson? How typical. And scary too. And you know what? I think the sketch worked better with the background music that was later added in the 1990s. And look, I know everybody didn't like that music that was added in later on, but I like it. It made the sketch more creepy. That's just my opinion, okay? If you disagree with me, that's totally fine. Our next song is called the National Association of W Lovers, which for that sketch, Bert is the chairman of the board. But before we get to that, let's hear what Big Bird knows about the National Association itself.
Oh, lots of things. They talk about things that begin with the letter W, and they write W's on the blackboard, and they sing songs about the letter W, stuff like that.
Big Bird, can you really understand what Ernestine's saying?
No.
How does he know all this stuff? He went there one time. Oh. So anyways, this song itself was written by Joe Raposo with lyrics by Jerry Jewell, veteran Muppet writer. Now, it was during around those times when Jerry Jewell worked sporadically on Sesame Street as a writer from 1969 to approximately 1975. After that, he got jobs working on The Muppet Show and Fraggle Rock with Jim Henson. Now, Jerry Jewell for Sesame Street was responsible for writing the drum segment, the sketch where Bert was sick, and even creating Supergroup. He also wrote the Question song with Jeff Moss. But anyways, for this song, Bert tells us that without the letter, we couldn't have words like wash, wix, wax, wiggle, wet, warm, walrus, waffle, weak, and wondrous, wonderful, wee, or anything like that. I gotta stop doing all those W's.
Without this great W sound, well, wink would be ink, and weak would be eek. Don't you see? Of course.
Our next sketch features the 1978 segment where Bert tries to teach Bernice, the pigeon, how to play checkers. Ernie finds this amusing, but Bert tells him that among the 10 games they played, she's only beaten him twice. And the last segment in the video was the song That's What Friends Are For, no relation to the Jungle Book song of the same name. This song was written by Tony Geis, as Ernie sings about the differences between he and Bert and that he doesn't mind all that. We even get a drum solo.
A little noise? Like what?
Like this, Bert. You didn't mind that, did you, Bert, old pal?
Not much.
It eventually goes so far that Bert decides to go sleep in the kitchen, which Ernie does not mind.
Because he's my friend.
The closing segment isn't much. It's just cute little Ernestine saying a little goodbye. So that was the best of Ernie and Bert. How's it fare up? Well, I will say this. It was okay. It didn't blow my mind or anything, but it wasn't that bad. I do like it. My mom likes it a lot, with all the segments and everything. But I will admit, it just needed a few more segments, like maybe Ernie's signature song, Rubber Ducky, and Bert's doing the pigeon, and a few other characters like Cookie Monster or Grover popping up here and there. Well, that's just me. I mean, if you love this video, that's fine. Sadly, though, this is another one of those Sesame Street videos that does not have a DVD release. Let me repeat that: not have a DVD release in the U.S. However, unlike the best of Kermit on Sesame Street, this video has been released on DVD overseas. But if you have a VHS of the tape, then go ahead and watch it and see for yourself. This review was requested by Johnny Mario, like he did with my rock and roll review. Thank you very much for suggesting this, and I apologize it's coming out so late. Oh, before I end things here, I should talk one more thing. Join me next time when I'll be taking a look at Larry Boy and the Rumor Weed. And I've got something special planned for that one too. And if you're interested in more videos and Sesame Street stuff and coming up next Cartoon Network segments, or even some Leah cartoon shorts, or even some of the Kablam shorts, just subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified about my upcoming projects. So, until next time, as always, stay sharp, stay smart, and always look at things that I recommend. See you later, everyone! Cut, that's a print, and lunch!